In this video, I'm going to show you how to create cluster templates using Rafay's SaaS Kubernetes platform. Now, once you log into the SaaS platform, you will be shown this projects page. Now, in this page, you will see different projects that you would have created. Now, for this demo, I created a project called Cluster Template. Let's click on this project name. And once you click on it, it will redirect you to this clusters page. As you see, there are no clusters available because it's a new fresh project. Now below clusters, you will see an option called cluster template. Let's create the cluster template. Demo cluster template 1. Let's click on create. Now once you hit on create, it will show you the versions page. Let's create our first version of cluster template. V1 version 1. Now after this, you will see it'll show you a simple form which you will have to fill in to create the cluster template version. Now this form is essentially the cluster configuration that you want to templatize. Now let's start configuring it. Let's select cloud credentials. Now for the region field, you will see one more drop down next to the field which has three options: not allowed, allowed, and allow limited. What that means is when you select not allowed, that means you cannot override this field when you create cluster using this template. Allowed means you can override this field value when you create cluster out of this template. Now third option is allow limited. What that means, you want to have a restricted list from which a user can choose and create a cluster. Now for this template, let me add these two values, Oregon and California. Now let's move to the rest of the configuration. For Kubernetes version, I don't want it to be overwritten. Let's select it not allowed. Let's move to the next and let's keep this setting as default. Let's give it a name, demo node group 1, and I want this field to be overwritten. That's why let me select allowed. And for instance type, let's choose t3.2x large, and I don't want this to be overwritten. Let me select not allowed for this particular field, and let's keep the rest of the configuration as default, but you can restrict and add different kind of configuration which you want to templatize. Now let me select save. Oh, I'm not select blueprint. That's why it's showing this warning. Let me select default blueprint for now. Let me select save. Once you hit save, the first version of cluster template is created. Now let's use this version to create the cluster. When you click on new cluster, you will see an option called create new cluster from template. Choose this and go ahead and click on continue. Let's create the EKS cluster for demo. Cluster demo EKS1. Now let's choose the template name and the corresponding version that we created. Now click on continue. So once you click on continue, you will see you will get redirected to the cluster wizard configuration page. Now in this page, you will see most of the configuration is auto-populated from cluster template. That's the beauty of cluster template. You don't have to redo the configuration again, and you can use this cluster template to create many more clusters. Now for example, the region value, you had selected a restricted list. That's why you will see these two options. For Kubernetes version, because you had selected not allowed, that's why it is grayed out. And for instance, we also had selected not allowed, that's why it's grayed out. And that's how you can create the cluster out of cluster template. Let's go ahead and click on save with this, and that's it. You are ready for the provisioning. Let's go ahead and click on provisioning. That's how you can create cluster using this cluster template. So this cluster template you can use to create many more clusters, and you can also add one more version of the cluster template, version 2, and if you want to customize this as well, you can add more customization and save it, and then use that new version of cluster template to create another cluster. Yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you so much.